Hello there, Ben Bowers, the Spirit Specialist, and I am here today to talk to you about I've just turned Canadian apparently, about a very special sample selection box that I have put together, which is called the Spirit Specialist Rarities. Now this is a selection pack of 6 3CL 30ml miniatures that I have put together myself of some very special bottlings that I managed to get my hands on, including one that is pretty much impossible to get hold of. And I'll tell you why in a minute as I go through it. But if you purchase this, you also have the chance to purchase the bottle that is nigh and impossible to get hold of. So let me run through, and here's the empty bottles as evidence that I have actually put them in here, of what is inside this pack. So in here we have, to start with, 15-year-old Daftmill. Always very, very popular and very hard to get hold of, simply because Francis, who is the distiller, Francis Cuthbert and his brother, who own the farm, who grow the barley to then make the whiskey, they don't make an awful lot. This is a working farm, and literally twice a year he does a small batch run, and that is it. Fantastic distillery. You know, the whiskies are consistently very, very good indeed. And this was a 15-year-old bottling that was just for, and you might be able to read it on there, UK independent whiskey retailers, of which I am one. So I managed to get not many bottles of this because there weren't many. There were only, does it say how many bottles there are? No, it doesn't. I thought it did. But it is bottled at a cask strength. So distilled 2007, bottled 2023 at 56.3% ABV. So this is not to be sniffed at, but it is to be sniffed because it smells absolutely fantastic. An absolute belter. And like I say, very hard to get hold of. I think everywhere is pretty much sold out. What we then have next following that would be Bardstown, Bourbon company, who are well known for doing their collaborative series. So they work with a number of distilleries essentially to do kind of like barrel finishes and things like this. And this particular one was a collaboration with the Foursquare rum company in Barbados. Again, it's cask strength. So it's 53.5% ABV. This is a bottle that I actually bought across myself from America from a recent trip. Absolutely stunning. You can't find this in the UK. The combination of the Bardstown spirit, which is, they are using some sauce, so it's a blend of straight whiskey, so it's not just bourbon. And the finish with that rum element, that kind of rum cask gives it kind of a sweetness, but Foursquare isn't the sweetest of rums. But you do get a hell of a lot of stuff going on with this. And just the fact that you can't get this at all in the UK, this is something really special. But talking about special, the most special of the lot, arguably, simply because of its rarity, is the Elsham Wold Flarepath. And it makes strange that I've said Flarepath as opposed to Flarepath, which is what I normally do. So this is the inaugural single malt whiskey bottling from the Elsham Wold Distillery, just over the other side of the Humber Bridge from me. It's not that far away. I was very privileged to be able to be asked to come to their launch evening and sort of co-host a short tasting event with my good friend James McMillan of Macmillan's and Malton. I was basically managed to get, I think, 3 bottles of this, one of which has gone into this pack. I have 1 bottle left. There were 150 bottles of this. Now, I have done a video on this, so if you've seen that, you'll know I think it is absolutely incredible. For a first release, it's simply stunning. It's just mind-blowing how they've managed to get so much flavour and texture and richness. It's superb stuff. Everybody that was at the launch event were all the kind of the cask holders and people that had invested and everything like that. They were given the opportunity to purchase bottles, and they did. And basically, James and I managed to get a couple of bottles each. James has put one behind his bar. One has been sold to a collector anyway. So I literally have 1 bottle left. So once all of these are sold, and that's part of the reason I'm doing this video, is that there are still a couple of these left. Not many, but there's still a couple of these left. And once they're all sold, then there will be a draw taken, a random ballot for all the people that have bought one of these to get the opportunity to purchase this. So not only are you going to get to try it, but you'll also have a 1 in, how many boxes of this to do? 22? 1 in 22 chance of being able to purchase this I've not even seen these on auction sites yet. I'm quite pleased that they've not turned up on auction sites, because as with any new distillery, inaugural ones just go through the roof in terms of collectability. But yeah, the opportunity to purchase that final remaining bottle, which I think is basically the final remaining bottle in the market. We then move on to sort of ones that are starting to go slightly smokier. So we've got the UK exclusive single cask bottling from Lockley, which was chosen by the Lockley team. Again, this is all completely sold out. This didn't even get on my shelves. I didn't get many of this. I think it was 6 bottles I got. Didn't even go on the shelf. Took one out specifically to put into a tasting pack to enable people to actually try the thing. It's from an ex-Islay barrel, ex-Lafroig barrel, with all the connotations, the links with John Campbell, who was previously their master distiller. And it does have a lovely light smokiness to it. It's an absolute belter. It really is good. Again, 61.5%, so another cask strength. You know, this is not kind of like 40% diluted ones. This is the real deal that we're putting in this box. Again, gone, haven't seen it anywhere, probably going for silly money on auctions, but it's absolutely brilliant. This is another special one though. This is at the moment, but obviously it will kind of like change over time because that's what happens with time and aging. This is the oldest English whiskey bottled to date. So this is a single cask release from the English Whiskey Distillery down in Norfolk. This is their 16-year-old. It was a lightly peated, so it's got it down as 38 ppm. There is a smokiness to it, but it's not particularly intense. That was matured solely in a port cask. At cask strength again, so we're looking at 54.1%. Only 232 bottles of these. Again, these disappeared. Because it's the oldest English whiskey so far. They were the first English whiskey to open for over 100 years, so naturally they have the oldest stock available. And to be fair, or to be honest even, some of the very, very early stuff, which is when Ian Henderson was in charge, wasn't that great. But they have 1 or 2 casks that are doing really, really well, and as they've kind of revitalised their kind of flavour profile, things like that, they're doing brilliantly now. The Sherry Matured was voted world's best single malt whiskey at the World Whisky Awards a couple of months ago. So, you know, they are doing a fantastic job. And this is an absolute belter and genuinely a piece of English whiskey history. And finally, simply because it's the peatiest of the lot, and if you were going to try them one by one in one go, this would be the way that I would do it. Just an all-timer, Longrow 21. So this is heavily peated, produced at the Springbank Distillery. So anything that's heavily peated at Springbank is called Longrow. 21-year-old is just amazing. I've been very fortunate enough to try a 25-year-old Longrow, and this is better. This is probably the peak of aging without it starting to lose its sort of integrity, its character, maybe becoming over-oaked. The 25 was just a little bit flabby. This is perfection. This is just absolutely amazing. It's got that oiliness, it's got that brininess, it's got the smokiness, it's got depth, it's got weight. It's just, it's incredible stuff. It's absolutely amazing. So the box is £60 for the 6 samples. But I think you'll agree they are some of the rarest stuff that you are going to find out there, and a lot of them aren't available in the UK or are no longer available. Plus, you will get that opportunity to then buy, and I'll prove, because it's quite heavy, but I'll prove this is an unopened full bottle. You'll have that opportunity to buy a piece of Elsham Wold history and a fantastic whiskey. You can do with it what you want, but I would suggest you open it and drink it with friends because it's absolutely incredible. So I don't have many of these left. So grab them while you can, because once they are all sold, that is when I will do the ballot. So that is me done. I'll hold that while I'm doing it. You can purchase this either in the shop if you want to come in, or www.spiritspecialist.com. Look on the drop-down box for products and then go to tasting packs and it'll be on there. I think it's also on the little carousel thing that I've got, I think, on the front page. You'll be able to find it. And there we go. Try something that you will not get the chance to try. That is me done for this video. I shall see you at the next one. Cheers.